all, just out for a ride today on the MT. Thought I'd get it out, get it off road, take it through a bit of the dial. She's already fairly dirty from a couple of other previous rides, so I thought why not take it out for one last good muddy ride before I give it a wash. Yeah, she's been a good thing so far. I'm only running the stock tyres still, as you can see. Been getting my money's worth out of those. They're not great off-road. Oh, they're pretty good off-road actually in the dry gravel, but where I'll be going today I'll be finding a bit of mud, so it's pretty bit scary. I won't be going too fast, but yeah, try to take it easy. I'm running 28 and 30 psi, so haven't really got the tyres there down enough either, but anyway, we'll see how we go. Sometimes it's fun riding a big bike like this slow through challenging terrain. It's good fun, even more of a challenge on stock tyres, but yeah, we'll see how we go. I'll try and get through to Cook's Road and turn around and come back the other way. Any luck? I've still got the taller windscreen on too, which is good for the road. I probably should have took it off or swapped it back out for the stock one for off-road, as that's in the lowest setting. I mean, at the lowest setting, even sitting down on the high seat, it's not too bad, and once you're off-road standing up, which I will be most of today, it's fine. Right. Up here with just the water coming through the tracks off the road. It's quite interesting. It's going to be pretty muddy through some sections. Blast off road though, this thing, for a heavy bike. It really sucks if you ever have to pick it up. You know, I don't just mean from flat ground, but pick it up from a slightly downhill facing angle or trying to turn it around in a really tight spot. It's not much fun. 200 kilos plus with all the crash bars and everything. As long as you can stay upright and on the damn thing and keep momentum, it's a bloody ball. Nice and slippery through that part. I'm still running stock suspension too, haven't done anything, probably won't bother. Not on a 10 grand Chinese bike. air in the tyres. Yeah, if that mud's no good. The old red clay up here too. Worst of the worst. On stock tyres and nearly road pressures anyway. Oh, that was a big hit, big deflection. Yeah, it's worse up here. Keep checking to make sure I've got air in the tyres. On the tubeless tyres, first time on any bike. Fucking hell, that's new. Okay, that actually wasn't too bad. Just got under there. Probably should have left it on camera. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it was, but yeah. Still got me out of breath a bit. Anyway, that's me, not the bike. Alright, onwards and upwards. First gear might help. And then tried for second and just hit a bog and it slid me right out. Lost all my momentum. It's actually not too bad at climbing anything if you can keep the momentum. Yeah, if it's rocky up here though, it's gotten a lot worse. So I can't actually get into too much speed or too much of a flow. You hit a really hard, sharp-edged rock, it's all over. Oh, that's slippery. That's part of the fun though. I actually like riding big bikes. Places like this with stock tyres. It teaches you a lot about riding in general and how to control a bike under less than optimal conditions and throttle control and all that. Well, I'm far from a good rider, but used to do a fair bit of off-road on the V-Strom 650 and that was probably even a bit heavier than this. We took that thing some places it should not have went. Fucking nice, it's rocky. Like, yeah, that's one thing on the WR, you can sort of smash through all that stuff and the suspension will handle it. Like, this suspension's pretty bloody good, but it's not quite that good. When you're hitting things hard, it does still feel like a very big road bike. Although I guess that's why some guys are getting the suspension done. But I sort of like puttering around more off-road on harder stuff if I'm doing it on these bikes. I'll take the WR if I want to have a bit more of a lash. Even going slow through this stuff on these big bikes feels so fun. Mount Gnome in there. That'd be a fun little track to try and get up on, any motorbike, let alone this one. A walking track, so no, we don't think things like that. Slightly a bit too tight as well. I just tightened it the other night. I was getting a little bit on the loose side. Now I think I might have it just on the tight side. Fix that up when I get home. Probably do the 5,000 kilometre service myself. I used to take it to the dealer. Go about an hour and a half away, 3 hours return. So I know you get the extra third year warranty, but in end up paying for it in the end. If I even get bloody 4 years out of it and say 20,000 Ks or more, I think it's bloody paid for itself at 9.5 grand out the door. Oh, there's definitely better bikes to do an off-road, but bloody hell, it feels a lot better than it should. It feels a hell of a lot better than the V-Strom. That had a 19-inch front wheel, 17 rear, so it's nice open 21/18. Yeah, further on up here it gets pretty bloody rutty. Some of them would swallow a bike like this and you'll never bloody get it out on your own. I got my WR cord in one once and that took me an hour and a half to get out. And that was 128 kilos compared to 200. I am cheating a little bit though. I'm only running half a tank of fuel at the moment, so that'll help a bit compared to having a full tank of juice. But when I first got this bike, I thought, I'll only do gravel roads, really. I was like, yeah, that's all I want to do on it. But the more I sort of take it into a bit of harder stuff, the more sort of capable you realise that it actually is. It makes you want to push it a bit harder, but you shouldn't really do it too much more harder than this unless you go up with someone else. Yeah, so you really need that second person sometimes to help you with the big chungus, as my son calls it. Like, you just can't sort of quite punch it through all that type of stuff. It's just too rough. I'm still tinkering with the suspension settings, but I found a reasonable happy medium that I'm happy with for now. Maybe if I was doing more of this stuff all the time, I'd get it done or firm it up a little bit more. I've got it sort of set up a bit softer for road use as well. Oh, front tyre washed out. We haven't even hit the slippery clay stuff yet. This stuff's just more loose. Beautiful little track through here though, very scenic, lovely on a hot day, this part especially. It's my favourite, it's always so nice and cool. Yeah, then you start getting to the mud or the clay. This is where I just find you can still do it on stock tyres, you've just got to make sure you're bloody standing up all the time, trying to pick your line well. And yeah, this part here is looking a bit average. Fucking hell, I got a bit lucky with leg position / weighting there. I thought on these bigger bikes you try and do things like that and the rear just comes around, slides down back into the rut due to sheer weight. We've got to the bike swallowing ruts yet, but you'll soon see them. Hopefully there's no more bloody big trees down. That one was definitely new. That was nasty. Hard to sort of pick your line sometimes when it changes up here so often. Come on! Oh, have just a half-second sit down to make yourself feel a bit better. heavy breathing. There is, if you can hear that. A bit of a cold. Plus my unfitness. That's what you've got to do, isn't it? When you get an adventure bike, you put on weight. Making a bit of a clacky noise. I can't tell if that's the windscreen or I can check the bolts. I haven't ridden, I've been riding with earplugs for the last fair while, so I didn't wear them today just because I was doing the off-road section, but you suddenly hear all these other noises that you haven't been hearing because you've got your earplugs in. Much nicer for cutting down the wind noise though. Up here with the ferns. One of these hills up here gets a bit hard. Like, you go slow, like it'll just tractor up in. I want to get it into second gear, but then it just feels like the suspension just won't keep up with it, which is understandable. It wasn't really designed for this stuff, but it will do it. I'm sure those of you that have checked out Curtis's on the back wheel videos will know that. It's a bloody machine. So these just, imagine if you got the wrong line down there. It'd be a whole lot of fun. Lifting the big pig out of one of them holes. It does actually reward going harder, this thing. It's probably why I'm not getting a reward. Some sort of pattern. But you do find when you finally can give it some and go harder, you seem to just love it more. Back in off-road mode. It's a bit loamy. Wish I could sort of get a better run up at that, but anyway. Yeah, I'll lift that back wheel. Pretty muddy and loose. Nice slippery. Bit of a jump. Yeah, this is slippery as, but it'll still climb it. Hey buddy. Why do you just eat it? Well, didn't really need that fucking branch. Once again, I'm just on the stock tyres, but alright as long as you just keep things rolling and don't try and brake too hard anyway. Or get too much accelerator. even going down kind of steep, slippery hills on this bike, it still feels easier and less scary and more planted than the WR. Just thought I have to let it keep rolling, which it's basically doing on its own anyway, just it's sliding now. That's pretty slippery. Might not look like it on camera, but if I grabbed any of too much brake or anything right now, I'd be gone. If you sort of can let it roll. Hey, Roo! Wobbly. Just full wheel spin. Just keeping an eye out for wires and shit too. You just never know how places like this people will just put up random bits of fencing or barbed wire. You can't see it till it's too late. Like it's still kind of challenging on a bike like this. Challenging enough, but yeah, it's still got traction. Gotta try and watch out for this bloody tree root thing that got me last time. Might go up this side. Oh, that bottomed out. Oh, that's just so fun. I can't explain it, but doing tracks like this on the 450Mt is just more fun than a dual sport or anything else. Woo. Hey buddy, don't want to run you over. Just coming down these hills, fun as. Not a full lock, mostly just sliding down. Trying to control it with balance and tiny bit of front and rear brake, but not enough to lock the back wheel. Ooh. That didn't bottom out, so yeah, it's pretty good. Oh, KYB for the win. Tend to reward you the harder you ride, the better it can work. Try not to burn the bloody clutch out, please. Harder going from this way, I reckon. Definitely much easier going downhill. Whew. Starting to get a bit hot. Get it up that next gear, you just can't. Keep hitting too many bloody things. What a cool little track though. These are just the random fucking places, but you find, oh, fuck it hell. Feels way more closed up though this way around. Follow me tyre tracks, please. You just have to end up hoping that a lot of them are soft. Hey. What a rig. This bloody does the road well, does the off-road well. What a bloody rig. I'm so happy with it. Reliability so far seems top notch. Hopefully it stays that way. But so far it is too good to be true. Just get a adventure bike set up for $9.5 grand. Although I'll probably put another $1,500, $1,800 of extras on it. But yeah, but even the accessories are cheap compared to the bigger name brands. But yeah, very happy with it. What a bloody machine. I would have loved the T7, but I would have had to sold the WR to get it, and only end up with one bike, and then yeah, that would be too heavy in some of the real hard off-road environments. Then I'd have nothing to do that with. So getting this bike allowed me to sort of get a T7-ish type bike and still manage to keep the other one in the shed. So worth it if you ask me. Bloody magic. Time for an oil change for the big gal. There's the fucking drain plug still leaking. She was bloody hot. There's the oil filter being taken off. Actually wasn't too bad. I reckon I got the 1,000 kilometre service done at the dealer. So I reckon they had to deal with the super tight factory oil filter, and they've just done it up reasonably tight, but just snug, just like they need to be. Probably should be taking it back to the dealer, but anyway. So yeah, about to chuck some fresh oil in her, and she'll ride another day.